Welcome to my channel, and this channel was created to empower you with the skills about the basics of managing money. We have started covering about buying or owning a house. And this topic is very touchy because whatever way you look at it, some people do not want to hear about it, or you never win with the argument you bring forward in terms of buying or owning a house. We're going to look at whether you should rent or put yourself into this huge mortgage, which you have to pay for around 30 years so that you can feel that you actually own a house. My name is Jane N. Hughes, and I am the author and publisher of The Basics of Managing Money. Keep it simple to build savings. One of the things I find interesting is when you turn up to work and you're in the staff room and people just start talking about houses. They find talking about houses that it is maybe inclusive, or they want to show that they can be able to buy their houses, which is fine. However, when you dig deeper or you listen to their stories, you actually realize that these people have taken huge mortgage, or it is a debt in other words, and they have to pay this mortgage over a long period of time so that they can be able to own a house. There is nothing wrong with taking a mortgage if that is what you really want, but this is just saying we've bought this, we've bought that. You haven't actually owned that house because you have to work really hard so that you can be able to see that that money has been paid off, and then you can be proudly say, I am a house owner. Until recently, renting a house was seen as if you are wasting your money, because everyone would go to the bank and it was easy to get their loan, and the government always dishes money here and there so that people can be able to take money to buy a house, even though the house is not theirs. So when you talk about renting, then you're seeing as if you are an outcast or you do not belong to the same society. And therefore, I have been a renter, or we have been a renter for quite some time and a long time. But when you try to talk to people about, oh, well, I am renting, they would look at you like, why are you wasting your money? Why are you paying someone else's mortgage? What they don't understand is that you have sat down, you've done your evaluation, and you have come to a conclusion. One, you do not want to go into debt, and two, you cannot sustain the mortgage. When you look at these two things, then you realize renting is the only option which can give you a comfortable lifestyle and also enjoying life without thinking about any debt. There is nothing wrong with renting a house. However, when you do rent a house, also have a long-term plan. And this long-term plan, it might be buying a house eventually. And if you cannot be able to buy a house, I mean, it's not the end of the world, but we still have to survive. You have to live somewhere. You can't live on the street. And that's why renting a house is also an option. The issue with renting is some people want to rent in a very higher class areas, and that becomes very expensive. And that's where then taking a mortgage might be a little bit better than renting. But if you want to put a plan in place, then you can live in a place where it's not very expensive and you still have some money which is left over for your long-term goals or objectives, and eventually you'll be able to buy a house. We were renters for a very long time. Why? It's because I sat down one time and I did calculation. And I looked at the money I was going to pay to the bank if I took a mortgage. and realized that by the time I finish my 30 years of paying the mortgage, I would have paid the bank almost another house. And therefore, I thought the option of renting was way much cheaper and better than buying a house through a mortgage. And some people might argue and say, oh, well, but you lost money through the house appreciation. It doesn't really matter. What you want at the end of the day is to have a house which is yours. It does not belong to the bank. And that's the basics of managing money. Please like, follow, and subscribe, and write comments down below so that I know whether this video is helping you in one way or the other. And see you in my next video.